How's it going, everyone? In this video, we're going to have a look at the process of coming up with new colors for the Pocket Tripod Pro V2. You'll see all the iterations, and I think you'll find it very interesting. By the way, if you're interested in meeting the people actually involved with making the Pocket Tripod, be sure to check out the last video we posted where we do a factory visit.
Nice. So initially I wanted to go with this, but then it was coming out too light. It was like almost like a
Yellow.
faint yellow. We found this toy and it had the brightest orange I've ever seen. So I asked the color expert to match this as close as possible. And I think it's a really nice color. We're gonna assemble it on some base parts and see what it looks like. Nice.
We also need black.
Adapters.
Now you're going to hear us talking about matching colors, and what that involves is actually mixing together different pigments that come together to give you a certain color, exactly like how you'd expect in painting, for example. So they initially go with a general estimate based on their own experience, mixing what pigments would give us a certain color. And then through multiple painstaking iterations, we then hone down the exact, tone and shade of each color. And it's important that not only that the colors match the Pantone color that we've chosen, the pieces themselves also need to match each other, that they're all very uniform. So you're going to hear us talking about the parts matching. That just means that, we've mostly figured out the general formula, but we also need to make sure that each part matches all the other pieces. So for example, here you're going to see that the legs of the Pocket Tripod there were slightly lighter than the rest of the pieces. So that means that we're going to try a slightly different formula with different ratios of pigments until we get it right.
The way he's making these parts, the base parts, and it's looking pretty close. It's looking pretty similar. So we want all the parts to match. Really nice. Let me see. So we're making all the parts right now.
It's important to do this under direct sunlight because that way you get the full spectrum of light interacting with the colors instead of, for example, under an LED light where you get just spikes of RGB. One of the most difficult colors was the blood red. It was just so tricky to get the exact colors that we wanted with the rich tones of the Pantone colors that we chose, and also for each part to match one another. So eventually we got it right, but it took a lot of tries.
The middle parts, the base parts, are the darker side versus this one is on the brighter side. So I'm asking him to try one last time and do like an average between the two. So we're looking at these colors. They're very, very close between the parts. But there's a slight difference between like the adapters and the legs of the tripod. All right, everybody, this is the end of the day. We finally got a color that we like. Mr. Chai over here really worked really hard. He tried so many iterations. Had to flip the camera through A, B, C, D, E, F. These are all the different ratios of the different colors he had to try. Finally, at F, we got to the ratios that we needed to get the right combination of colors. These two are as close as they're ever going to be. I think they look perfect to me, but I mean, somebody might have better eyes than I do. Because each one of these parts is a different material, they need a different formula for the color. So Mr. Cha is a color expert and he's packing up all his materials, his scale and everything, all the different pigments that he brought with him. He doesn't work for the company here, but he works for a special company that makes just colors. Tomorrow we're gonna mold the different components, like the base, and look at a complete set, see what it looks like, but I'm pretty happy with it. I think you guys are gonna love it as well. That's it for today. So it's day 2, looking at the parts under the sun. We made the base parts, but there's a slight difference in tone. So the color guy's back. We're gonna try to fix it right now. I felt like the red color was a little bit on the lighter side. A big part of that is difference in texture between the different materials. But still, he was kind enough to comment to help us fine tune that red color again to get it just right. Let's see how it goes. This one's really close. I think we could do one more try to get it just right. It's really, really close.
So the color guy went back and made tiny adjustments again to the different ratios of the different pigments until we got just the right tone and shade of red that we were looking for. One interesting thing is that every time we try a new color, we have to flush the system of any pre-existing material that could have a slightly different color that could throw off the results. So then we get this thing that I call the forbidden sorbet because it just looks so delicious, except that it's it's not edible.
It looks really pretty. And the final product looks like that. All right, another long day, but we finally got the blood reds. Look at that. That was pretty cool. I'm pretty happy with it. I can't wait for you guys to get these and check it out. But look at that color. That's nice. That's real nice.
So that's how new colors are made, and we go through these steps for each one. Once each color has its formula finalized, it's then produced at scale into something called a master batch. And here you can see quality control samples from different master batch productions.
Okay, Mandy, what do we got over here?
Okay, we prepare the color sample and see we have oyster,
Oyster gray, it's called Summit yellow,
uh,
lava orange,
blue.
alien blue, sage green, blood reds. These are all the April colors. Looking real nice. Andy's just preparing some of these color samples. And yeah, I think it was a pretty successful trip, right, Andy? Do you agree?
Yeah, I'm good.
I hope you enjoyed this video, and in the next one, we're gonna have a look at how we ship our orders worldwide.